Oh, and
Well,
where's
that's
our intro?
podcast, isn't it?
Where is she?
Lizzie, where are you?
Lizzie has absolutely. I mean, I can only find our outros. Right, here's our intro. Rolling now. I mean, I know we were 5 minutes late, but losing our intro, that's absolutely broken me. Welcome, everybody, to QuickBooks Labs podcast, powered by the QuickBooks Chap and part of the Ask the Accountant Network, a podcast network for accountants and bookkeepers, supported by our amazing Patreon community. Speaking of which, we start each and every show with a shout out to our coolest of cool listeners, who are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks Chap. I think I've got probably a few days left.
Yourself out.
I generally paid to make sure it was all working, but I only paid for one. So I think this is my last one. Next on the list is Paul Whitehouse. Hello, Paul. Next is Kirsty St. John. And then is Mahul. And then is Millie. So yeah, but the way this works is I'm going to vacate the top step. Paul's going to take over it, and we'll see how long he wants to keep his title as a cool listener. If you'd like to join as a cool listener, visit our Patreon page found via the links below for bonus content and an opportunity to be on this coveted list. This podcast is all about the world of QuickBooks Online, and I am your host, Aaron Patrick, aka the QuickBooks Chap on YouTube. As always, I'm not alone. Joining me is our expert panel. Let's meet the legends of today's episode. And it's
Legend.
yourself,
just myself. I definitely don't have two personalities. Just me.
Simon, how are you?
I'm good.
How's it been? How was January for you? The floor is
January
yours.
was glorious because I don't do tax returns. Sorry to everyone that's out there filing tax returns till midnight on the 31st of January, but I didn't have to do a single one. So January was nice. Nice and not relaxing, but there's plenty of work to do. But yeah, no tax returns to be done. It's quite nice.
Good. And next week we have the joy of going to next month, should I say? Next month, our episode will be at the wonderful
Woolwich, Greenwich.
Woolwich. It is Woolwich. I'm trying to remember. It is definitely the Woolwich one, isn't it?
Woolwich Arms, Woolwich Armory, something like that.
Yeah, we were there 2 years ago, I want to say. So last year we were back at what do you call it? Weren't we? Yeah, so we're back there. So best thing to do is jump on the Lizzie line. To get the Lizzie line directly there.
Get a boat. That's the best way to do it.
Can you get the boat? Can you? Does that go that way?
You get the boat. It's the best thing ever. Take a trip down the Thames on an Uber boat.
Okay, maybe we should do that as a QuickBooks Labs special where we all, the whole group turns on there. We're planning to do a podcast directly from there as well. So if you want to join in, if you've got any comments, if you're going to be there, whatever it's going to be, then make sure you listen out for that. Okay, let's make sure we go through all of this ramble that we've got here. We've got an absolute cracker of a session lined up for you, but before we dive in, let's see how it all works. We're now live and uncensored, recording the session at, well, it should have been 4:30 on a Wednesday, 4th, but we're there or thereabouts. You know what I mean? We're there or thereabouts. And if you're catching this later, you've missed out on the real-time interaction. So make sure you follow us on socials to join future live recordings and get involved. Drop your question, comments, and curveballs right into the chat. Plus, we're available on all your favorite podcast platforms. New episodes go live the first Wednesday of every month. So be sure to subscribe whenever you get your podcasts, so you get your monthly dose of QuickBooks, know-how, and a bit of banter too. So buckle in, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into it. Right, we're going to start this session or this episode with with a bit of a tribute to. I mean, if you're going to go look back at the history of QuickBooks UK, this is what's the most prominent personality you could think of? I think this might be the number one. What would you say? I would say, yeah. So I'm thinking this is, to me, you know, having worked with QuickBooks for such a long time, having done the training, having, done these videos, done podcast. In fact, he was a guest on one of our QuickBooks Labs episodes way back when they did a QuickBooks Connect 2020, whatever it was. I mean, no, 2019, wouldn't it have been? It was before the pandemic.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. But he's now no longer part of QuickBooks, and it is, of course, the legend that is Mr. Nick Williams. We don't know where he's gone to, which I think is the biggest question.
He's with us. You just said he's no longer with us. He's no longer at QuickBooks.
Oh no, sorry, he's no longer with QuickBooks. Sorry, yeah. Let's very, very definitely clarify that bit. But he's no longer part of the QuickBooks family. No. And when you think about his legacy of what he's brought to the table, he was started life as a BDM, so business development manager. I know that he was involved in some of the biggest acquisitions of client of companies and everything else that he was involved in the early days, and then he made his way into product and ended. We were talking off air, what was his actual title? I thought it was international product design, something like director of product, something along those lines. You know what? Yeah, you know what? US companies they have these names you can't even comprehend sometimes, right? You need a thesaurus just to understand exactly what the names are. But yeah, he was highly regarded. He was definitely one that was pushing a lot of the bits for the UK product. There was so much that he was kind of bringing to the table. I know he was very proud of things like the CIS element and how he was able to kind of bring that to the table and how that's evolved over time from when he first started to where it ended. He was definitely involved in the work paper side of things as well. And I know that was kind of one of his big projects. And to me, that's still one of the strongest parts of QuickBooks we've got. And lately, he's been instrumental in the way that the AI elements have kind of been brought to life, the fact that they're called agents and all that sort of stuff. I'm not saying it was just him, but I'm saying he was definitely involved in kind of bringing that all together. So I generally think it's going to be a huge miss that he's now not.
I remember first, he was probably the first person at QuickBooks I met when QuickBooks Online was just coming out.
Really?
So 2013, somewhere around there. And I remember he came to the office and our mission was to sell. It wasn't where my job alone. Our mission was to sell QuickBooks Online to the partners of the firm I was currently at. And if you remember back in those days, QuickBooks Desktop didn't have the greatest rep, should we say? You could post one-sided journals and things like that. And I remember, this is my favorite memory of him. One of the partners of this firm turned around and said, I'm going to swear, by the way, but you can always bleep it, Lizzie, if you want. He turned around to Nick and went, "Tell me why QuickBooks isn't shit." By the end of the 2-hour meeting, he'd bought 100 licenses. Because Nick was, we all know what Nick was. Most of us know what Nick was like. He got what we were trying to do, what the future was going to be like, especially then, which would have been 2013-ish, somewhere around there, which is not long after he started QuickBooks either, I don't think, because he'd been obviously various other software people before that. We just got what we wanted to do and was always, especially in the early days, was the person you went and spoke to if you wanted something. Or, he'd ask you what you thought of X, Y, and Z until they became what they are now, I think, in the UK. They weren't as big then.
No.
Where they were when he first started in 2013 to where they are now. It's only 13 years.
But it's a big change, isn't it? When you
big change, especially with the new platform and everything else. But it was nothing like what it was 13 years ago.
Yeah, I just, for me, it's Nick Williams is the guy that gets on stage and talks about all the new products. Right? I've never known anyone else do it. I've never known anyone else, even. Ever since I've been involved in QuickBooks or used QuickBooks, it's always been Nick that's brought that enthusiasm to this product launch.
He's always asked, reach out beforehand, and go, we're thinking of doing this. Or back when he was in that role, we're thinking of doing this. Do you think that's a good idea? With the bigger partners and even some of the little partners, is this a good idea for your clients?
Yeah.
But it was very like they had that team. So yeah, and lots of what we've said to him and what he said to us is in the product now, right?
Yeah. I mean, Accounting Council, we've been involved since day one, right? Of how
Yeah, and
that
he's been
comes out.
he was the driver behind the first one of them.
Yeah, it was him that started the session and ended the sessions, right? Like
And
every
he sat at the back and took it all in.
yeah, exactly. He didn't miss a single moment of it, did he? It was always there. And yeah, I really, you know, my biggest hope is he's got something absolutely extraordinary lined up, because he deserves it, right? And hopefully that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, we won't know until NDAs or whatever, or you know, because I can imagine especially being an American company, you'd have a very tight contract and going forward, won't you? So there's obviously going to be some time that needs to pass before we'll find out where he's gone.
But also, whoever replaces him carries on what he started. I think that's carries on his legacy, shall we say?
100%.
I think everything he bought carry that on, really.
Yeah, and I know some amazing people at QuickBooks, so I know there's the ship's not going to sink or anything daft like that. They're absolutely fine. But he's very difficult to replace, right? Like that is a big personality, a big advocate for accountants, right? Like that's why we were so behind him.
That's where we went. Like previously it was always very direct, wasn't it? It was direct to end consumer, and it was actually no. We wanted. Obviously, his background was before QuickBooks was other people in green, but they got accountants, didn't they? They went via that accountant when he bought that way to QuickBooks, and then obviously Xero then followed suit and gone, with the accountant way as well. So it's very much of he steered it that direction, and it's important.
Yeah, I mean, he sold that partnership dream, right? Like,
and it
marketing spiel is you're a partner, and that's just spiel if you don't act on it, right? But he definitely kind of brought to fruition what that actually meant. Like he was one of the driving factors of, no, we've calling them partners, so let's actually act on that, right? And actually act on being partners.
Let's, whatever it was to help you help your clients do. I remember in the early days we used to do free training sessions, and a trainer would come out, we'd just hire a room, and then someone from QuickBooks would come and just train clients generically. Before, these were probably pre-COVID days when you could got trained in person, but it was like little things like that just got your ball rolling, and then just everyone's clients followed, really.
And again, QuickBooks is a big it's a big team, so it wouldn't have just been Nick, but he was definitely, without a doubt, like pushing for that, and he was a driving factor of all that, wasn't he? So yeah, and I'll always remember him giving us opportunity he called it drains up. I never came across that term before, because I left the corporate world a while ago, so maybe that's like a term that everyone uses in the corporate world. But the drains up approach of like, well, of course we're going to tell you why we've had to make this decision and why this doesn't work, and that was so refreshing. It wasn't, a lot of this time you can hide behind it, can't you? And there's kind of a lot of, corporate spiel and PR and all that sort of stuff that you've got to pretend you've got to fall in line with. But I think what Nick did really well was he was able to kind of cross that fence of, okay, I can't tell you this, and this, because I'm not allowed to, but I can tell you this, and this to give you context to why we've made the decision, why you might have frustration, why. Do you know what I mean? That's what his biggest skill was, wasn't it? Of kind of letting you understand behind the veil, so that you could take kind of understanding of what's going on, can't you? So massively missed. And as Kirsty says here, sorry, no problem, Kirsty. Yes, we'll sadly miss Nick. He felt like he listens to the bullish bookkeeper. Yeah, he and I think he was one of the ones who definitely brought up this whole idea that we can't just call them accountants, right? But it's like accountants and bookkeepers. He was like adamant that.
But totally got that.
Yeah, so sadly missed. Who could replace him? I can't think of anyone, and that's not to put down the team that's already there, but That's a massive, massive boost to fill, isn't it? And you know, one of my proudest moments is that I had the same trainers as Nick Williams, and I kept bringing that up as well. And one of my favorite photos I've got as well is me, Nick, when I had my little T-shirt on with the tour, and sat there of the thing. So
hopefully he's having a great party to see himself off.
Yeah, and no doubt would have had karaoke. So I don't know if you've ever had the
karaoke, glasses off, and Nick's raised pie.
Yeah, 100%. Sadly missed. Speaking of the working papers, though, working papers had a bit of an update. All I've got, though, unfortunately, is a screenshot of said update because, and I don't know why, but I can't get access to this feature at this point in time. But if I was to quickly share my screen, you'll see. I'm sharing on screen. That 1 second. There we are. So you should see here on screen that we now have this new feature of now you can pick any day of the month for start end date and set accounting period more or less than 12 months. For 1 day to 18 months, you can now have variable accounting periods. Now, this is a feature that's been long asked for. So we're all excited that it's here, aren't we? Right? Like, this is a great feature. Wonderful. Glad it's here. My confidence levels on how this is going to work, knowing the reason that they took so long to deliver it, because of, you know, I mean, fundamentally, the way QuickBooks has always been working is that and one of its strengths is it's got a dynamic year end. So the second you move from one day to the next, it'll automatically do your journals entries and move it from retained earnings and everything else. If you think to back in desktop days, you'd have to fully run a year end, wouldn't you? You'd have to run the year end, make the decision. You couldn't, it was unreversible. Like once that was done, it was done. And those were the days where we had. Because of this dynamic year end, that's caused big problems for them to have more than 1 day and then moving more than 12-month period or anything other than a 12-month period, shall I say. I haven't been able to play with it. It's out. It's there. What's your thoughts on it, Simon? You excited for this? Was this something your clients were crying out for?
Yes, because weirdly, I spoke to one this week that has a 5th of April year end. So yes, this is rather apt that it's now live, or it's going to be live, because we had an in-depth discussion about how much do they actually do between the 1st of April and the 5th of April. They didn't want to, you know, obviously there's bigger systems and we do lots of different systems that could deal with that, but was it worth paying the extra for 5 days worth of transactions? No. So yes, I'm very happy from that side of things, because like I said, otherwise we're going to have to do this and accrue for this and just journals that, and these guys are coming from Excel spreadsheets. So
oh wow, okay, yeah.
They were, so they're not VAT registered. They didn't just everything was on Excel. But so yeah, it's a good thing, and I think especially with the move to you know, all the sole trade stuff and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, making tax digital, yeah.
You're gonna have different year ends, right? So, like, industries have different year ends sometimes. I remember when I first trained, farms were like the 11th of October or something, because that's when the harvest ended. You know,
but if they're sole trader, they're not allowed to be anymore because they're making tax digital. But
like,
yes,
things like that, like farming year ends used to be like 11th of October. I'm sure it was 11th of October or something like that, because that's when the harvest ended. That's end of harvest, so that's when you did your books. That's a random bit of knowledge in my head. Yeah, I think having more flexible year ends and more bigger reporting periods, like we do with a lot of theatres and things like that, and they don't close that period until that show's ended.
Makes sense. Yep.
So like you want to keep track of the, you know, your profits for that show run, so to speak, because you could have the show in the UK, the show that's gone, you know, like the touring shows and all that sort of thing. So it's not a 12-month thing; it's a 43-week thing, or you know, that sort of thing. So it's a good move. And like I said, it spans across a year end as such. So it'd be great.
My only, and I just need to figure out how they've done it. And again, this is the sort of things where we need to play with it, right? Because I don't remember anyone talking about this being in beta or anything else. This is kind of shadow dropped on us. And I know it was something that was been asked for and been worked on for years at this point, right? So this is definitely one of the reasons it's probably taken so long is they've probably gone and like just gone, right, they've been asking for it. We finally fixed it. Let's just get it out there, right? And that's what they've done. No B2B.
It's interesting it's coming to work papers first and not the actual product.
I think it is only over going to be work, because that's only when people are shouting about it, and that worries me, because
so you can have your year end in one. But this is my point. So
yeah,
you could have your year end of December,
yeah,
in your QuickBooks, and it will just automatically roll over in QuickBooks. But your working papers could be like the 12th of January.
Yeah,
and
again, back to that dynamic year end, because in like we've obviously had to do multiple year ends and shorter year ends and stuff before, right? And the only way we've been able to do that before is you go find what journal, and you could never find the journal, but you find what they've done and reverse them and then put them in manually, right? Like the only way typically now that you can do that, and the only way you can kind of have that reporting right is you've got to take control of the dynamic year end and post it.
That's a similar thing across that's not just a QuickBooks thing, right?
No,
no. That level of accounting software that all had some sort of auto year end, you don't see the journal, it just happens kind of thing, because let's be honest, most people, the people it's aimed at, they're not accountants, right? They don't,
and that's the problem, isn't it?
They just want it to happen because that's the way it should. But you've got to have the right dates in there to do it.
We can make as many glorious workarounds as we want, but the typical user aren't going to understand them, are they? And aren't going to be able to grasp them and bring them in. So that's where it becomes painful.
I think that changing the year end, even like we're going, I know one of the points we talk about later on is Xero. I think Xero did something similar with basis period reform stuff as well.
They did.
Where you can change your year end, and it worked out that, right, we don't need to do a journal at that point. It's going to be later or earlier or something like that. And that's probably that area as well that they're looking into.
Yeah, and in fairness to Xero, they smashed that basis form. They were the only one to really grasp it and really make that good. Yeah. And user friendly. Kirsty says, "Oh, will it remember that limited don't start on the 6th?" Do you know what really winds me up at the moment when we're talking about dates and everything else is YOY is the sole trader product. So QuickBooks Sole Trader, aimed at sole traders who now only have a 31st of March or a 5th of April year end. Why is their year end automatically and defaults to December every single time, which no sole trader in the world's ever going to think about changing, because they don't even them, they don't have a choice of year end anymore, right? So just why? Tell me why.
There's lots of little things like that though, right? That you're like, why are you showing me these options? And I think we talked about it before. Like, if I've selected X, Y, and Z, don't do X, Y, and Z. And that's just common across this. That's not aimed at QuickBooks. That's aimed at lots of different products.
It seems to be
things would lead to sensible answers, but sometimes they don't.
Not just sometimes, is it? Not just sometimes. All right, here's another new area that's popped up in the world of QuickBooks, and I just want your opinion on this one. This one is all about, they're calling it capital. And in the US, I know they've definitely got a lot more functionality coming in here. And I know it's quite small, so I'll try and zoom in as much as I can with my little mouse thing and everything else. But now we have the capital area. So in this particular, and I can't bring up the client because I couldn't find a way to get the client's data not to be shown. So I've just got a screenshot. But in this one, they were still on the old platform, so they hadn't moved over. And on the left-hand side, they had an area called capital. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've not seen that before. Basically, it's the add sum area that we've seen. So that was available to them. And it's kind of, that's now in the add sum, which we talked about as well. But it also looks like they've partnered for working capital with ULend. Fast, flexible business funding from £1,000 to £1 million. Quick and easy application, flexible repayment options, no interest, just a fixed fee. Explore your options. Now, I can't obviously click this because it's just a screenshot.
I've got a real live version that that's just demo data.
Oh, is it? You found it, have you?
Yeah, it's on my demo data, so I can share my screen.
And are you on the old version or are you on the new version?
I will show you.
Oh,
let's go share screen. Why not?
He said this demo day, yeah. So we're Good
It's
to know.
definitely
Good to
yeah.
hear. Awesome.
So here we go.
All right. Nice one.
Yeah,
So yeah, you're on the old version, yeah?
Still on the old version. Yes, it's demo. There's loads of rubbish in it. So I can click on next. Let's go explore. Portion of future sales. So that looks like how they're doing it. Fixed fee, which I'm guessing is related to your sales again. We're obviously my demo company is not eligible for this type of funding, which is always good. So you're not going to get too far without you're not going to go for a big process and then they go, oh yeah, you can't have that.
Nice.
And then what else under here? There's a fee. These are all the stuff you've already got there. QuickBooks receives, so there's the commission bit.
Okay, so nice and nice and
clear.
We like that.
So they're not into the same trap as car sellers. And then so it's also saying this is the bit I like. We recommend consulting with your accounting or a trusted. That's a good sign, and it's something we talked about with the AI with QuickBooks, wasn't it? But to make sure it makes suggestions, but always say go and consult with your accountant. So that's a good thing.
Love that.
So ULend. If we go learn more, here we go. It's just more about what's the minimum criteria. Here we go. 3 months trade in, 3 invoices totaling £1,000 each that are settled, and at least £1,000 of card revenue.
Oh, I wonder how is that using QuickBooks payments then?
It must be. So let's have a look. Let's see how this will work.
Is ULend connected to the new provider?
Sorry?
Is ULend connected to the new card payment provider then? Maybe.
Might be. Funding is unsecured. Personal guarantee from the business owner. They don't really say too much, but that bit's interesting.
Yeah.
Because what if you don't take card payments? There must be something in that.
I mean, and also the card payments isn't quite the right term, is it? It's the invoice payment, isn't it? It's the pay now button. I'm thinking.
Pay now button.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
I mean, we don't know if they are connected, but if it's the same provider helping them get that pay now button in, then maybe that's quite a nice way for them to get that confidence of revenue, income, and everything else, and all that sort of stuff. So
and that's how they're probably taking the percentage as well, right?
Yes,
which would make sense because they're taking it on days without sales. Your business doesn't really pay anything. So I imagine if you took your card revenue of £500 a day, they're taking their repayment out of that 500 before it gets to you
out the payout. Now,
and then it'd be interesting from an accounting perspective.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, I'm all up for that if they can actually automate that side of things.
Yeah,
because we have lots of eBay sellers on our books, and they have lots and lots of opportunities to get capital through there, but it's such a nightmare to account for, right? Like it is a pain. So interesting. Look, I'm all up for these extra services being available there. Especially when you can connect directly to the source, and those lenders can make informed decisions because they can see that data, and it takes away a lot of the transparency, doesn't it? And it does help clients, and having access to funds is huge.
I think obviously there's apps like Capitalize and all those sort of things that bolt around outside that have much more variety of options, right? Than just the one, which obviously why you probably then go to your trusted accountant / advisor / whoever you speak to kind of thing.
Yeah, because hopefully this is the start of a handful of options for them. I think that's the
I imagine there'd be a handful of options here. I'm still not a fan of that one.
No, they can. I feel that's we can talk about that till the cows come home, can't we? I mean, this was announced at last year's Get Connected.
It's now in its own separate section. It's not flagging up, hopefully, on my VAT return, which we
fingers crossed. If the VAT return layout.
Oh,
no, it is. Yeah, even more prominent than it was before.
It's even more prominent than it was before. But yeah, it is what it is. But the fact it's under here is, and it's. I think the fact that you've got working capital, fast variance, and an overview, there's going to be more options.
Yeah, hopefully, because I'm working with a solution at the moment that does amazing insurance quotes and stuff, and they, look into the data, and they're just trying to do it, and you could see that being an option one day, right? Like, and get your insurance quotes from here and all that sort of stuff. And I'm really up for kind of having those extra options over services in there, as long as they do it without being too aggressive. And I think as long as if it's just there, and the client's already trusted that's the software, and it's kind of all integrated.
It leans into that. Then it's more, obviously we've got it on the old platform, but it's definitely more in that new platform era, right? This is the one place you go. You have your CRM, you have your accountant, you have your payroll, you have your VAT, you have your insurance, you have your work. Everything's there.
Yeah,
connected all together to do all the things, which is what they want to do.
And that phrase business operating system, right?
Yeah.
At the moment doesn't really mean, there's basically accounting and a bit of marketing, and even that's not properly talking to each other yet. But this is a step in that direction, isn't it?
Step in that direction, totally.
Awesome. What should we go through next? Let's do this one quickly, because I just wanted to know your opinion, because I imagine you kind of used it more than anything else, but I'm sure we've all seen this little picture popping up. 6 transactions are ready to post. These are high confidence suggestions for transaction based on your company history. Just review and post. And the idea is this is part of one of the accounting agents. Well, no, sorry, this is the accountant, or part of what the accounting agent can do. And the idea is it's going to look at your data, and it's going to have high confidence items, and it's going to say, like, 2 clicks and it's in. Press review, press post. So review first filters that screen, just showing you however many transactions. Could be 6, could be 26, could be 600, right? So it's going to show you those one with high confidence on there. It's going to filter it down on that bank screen just so you can see them, and then going to give you one button and you can post them all. Love that. That's like really, really positive. And when I was, when I'm doing my training and stuff, the way I kind of tell people why this sort of stuff is important is because, in theory, you just get rid of the noise, right? Those high, high transaction but low volume. Sorry, high volume but low low value kind of transactions that you just want to get rid of. You just want to get posted. You want to get out your way. And in theory, it should then leave you with the transactions that you really need to think about, like those ones that are a bit more complex. Maybe they've got like a really obscure VAT element to them, like maybe it's a leased car and you got to do 50% VAT, items like that, right? Where you really got to think about them. You got to take your time, put them in the right way, and you go for them. To me, anytime we can automate like the stuff that's simple and just get that out of the way and just give us that chance to really think about the complex stuff, I'm all up for. QuickBooks approach at the moment, well, there's 2 ways they're looking at it. In the sole trader product, everything's auto-categorized, rightly or wrongly, and it just gets done, and then your job is to go through and make sure it's been done. In QuickBooks Online and all the SKUs that are there, we're going to suggest, we're going to give you a nice, easy way to post it, but you're still going to have to press the button to post, right? They're still learning and leaning into that. Xero's gone a completely different route, haven't they? Now, I haven't properly played around with it. And their name's wrong. They've called it auto reconciliation, but let's skip to that to one side. Let's
ignore what Xero call reconciliation.
Forget the terminology. But the idea is it's automatically adding transactions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sam, have you had a chance to play with the Xero world and how that works or anything else? When you compare the 2 ideas and the 2 ways of approaching it, what's your opinion on both of them?
It's good, but it doesn't. Play around with it. It's kind of hard with demo data as well. I don't get involved with like physically doing the bookkeeping on clients, obviously. So playing around with things is quite hard unless you connect your own bank account to Xero, which I don't intend on doing. But from what I've seen, it's a good, like from people's feedback online, it's a good idea, but there's still elements where it doesn't know what it's doing, which is, if there's multiple things of like £100.
Yeah.
And QuickBooks has the same problem. Like when you've got 10 invoices of £100, it doesn't know which one's what and what have you. Sometimes there's those little things, but it's a step for both of them. It's a step in the right direction. It's now just nailing down what to make it easier and quicker. Like, I don't think it is any quicker, because if it does post something that you don't want it to do, like, great that it's posting things, but if it's then wrong, you then got to go and undo it and do it again anyway. Whereas suggestions probably a better idea in my mind.
Yeah.
I'd rather it suggest it than you say yes first and then it goes off and does that automatically. I was always, even with rules, we always say put the rule on, but don't tick the auto post until like a couple of months down, like if you're new to QuickBooks or whatever. Don't tick the auto post one until you've got used to how the system's working.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Just in case there is one, you've put anything that says INT, post it to this, and then all of a sudden you've paid someone called International and it's posted it as bank interest or something. Which I've said many a time. So I like the review stage, but then it's almost a review like the first couple, and then go and auto post would be what I'd quite like.
Yeah, because
nice.
And the way, and maybe I've got this wrong with Xero, because they're basically they're putting it around as jacks, aren't they? As their so I've just got it on screen so we can see it. Like basically up here there was auto reconcile feature at the top. Again, name's wrong, but the functionality is right. And you can enable auto reconcile for this feature. When enabled, Jacks will auto reconcile any new lines we're confident about. You can undo or edit them anytime, and then we can kind of see how bank reconciliation work with this one. You'll get an early access to this feature as part of the Jacks beta program. So they're branding it as Jacks, but it is just bank rules that they're creating, right? Have I missed something here? Yeah.
In effect, yeah.
Which is interesting because from a QuickBooks point of view, I remember, I don't know if I told you I went to Vegas. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Probably the first time I've mentioned this episode.
I was around October, November, December.
But when I was over there, I had a really good chat with one of the developers who was talking about the new banking screen and everything else. And just as a side note, they've got this really cool concept that they're hoping to bring where it's more of a traffic light system. So instead of having our new sparkles that we have in QuickBooks, they really want to go for this whole idea of having green, red, and yellow, and it's how confident Intuit Assist is going to be on that. But anyway, one of the things that I had a good conversation about was why we're so precious about bank rules. Because as accountants, we love bank rules, right? It's a confidence for us. We set it and we forget it, and everyone in our world, we're happy with it. But apparently it's bank rules that are stopping a lot of the auto categorization happening, and it's bank rules that are causing us issues and causing us problems. And it's interesting that Jack seems to go, let's almost create and suggest the bank rules, which is what we've had for a while, was suggested bank rules, right, in the QuickBooks world. But you'll notice if you go to the new experience, suggested bank rules aren't there anymore. Like that's not a thing, that's gone. Like we don't do suggested bank rules, and they don't want suggested bank rules going forward, because I think QuickBooks want to eliminate bank rules as much as they can, and that's a scary world for us accountants and bookkeepers. I think we're all sat there going, do not take away.
Well, Xero's follows a specific what it looks at as well. So it will look at, right, have you got a bank rule first, and I'll match it against that first.
Yes.
Then it will look at existing transactions. Is there a bill outstanding or what have you? Then it will look at, oh, hang on, you did this with it before. Then
and the historical. Yeah.
Historical. Then it starts applying predictions, and then every time you do it, it's obviously changing things. And it's learning as you go along, what you hope it would do. But there is some sort of order behind it. And like, so if you're getting rid of bank rules, because not many people use bank rules in Xero. I find less people use bank rules, or because they were less obvious to find.
Right.
Use them less than they do in QuickBooks, or they historically.
Yeah.
I come across more bank rules in QuickBooks than I do in Xero, for whatever reason. Maybe that's because QuickBooks suggested, oh, you've done this, or you should create a rule, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think both ways work. I just quite like to do the first couple and then say, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But you mentioned about typical things, complex things around what, like you talked about the lease car thing.
Yeah.
There was an app partner I saw the other day that on their agents, I'm not going to say who it is because I can't remember if I'm allowed to say this or not, will start looking at HMRC's things around things like lease cars and go, if you've coded it to this, I will do this with the VAT.
Nice.
So before it's even got to your accounting platform with your image or whatever you told it to do, it will scan down the relevant HMRC guidance for what you want. Or you can build it yourself to say, right, if I code it to this, it's staff entertaining, or those sort of things you can start building into it anyway. But if there's like, we're going to claim X percentage of that, things help. Like I say, there's more complex ones of, right, you're now 50%, or if they're partially exempt as well, you can start almost, which you can't really do in QuickBooks or Xero without lots of like workarounds and stuff like that. Maybe things like that to say, all of my invoices for these codes only claim 13% of the tax, or whatever your partial exemption rate is. And that's a more complex area that it can start doing for businesses that might not, and then just type in at a lower level as well.
And that's where the agents can really help, isn't it? It's because clients don't know what they don't know, right? If they've just bought a new lease of a car, they have no idea they're only allowed to claim 50%, right? But being prompted by that and having that option there for them is a massive benefit to them.
And the reason, because the worst does it, and then tell them the reason why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So just make
I love that idea. The only reason I brought up this whole reconcile and like auto reconcile, it's not reconcile again, but let's just
go with it.
Humor me that's what they're calling it. But you got this auto reconcile feature, and you've got review transactions, and transactions are ready to post. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've been looking at what's on offer at the States at the moment, and like they've got a solution called Digits, and they've got a solution called Kick, and both of them are brand new FML solutions that are built from the ground up with, as you can imagine, AI as the forefront of it. And what's interesting is they've already got to the point where they're, using AI to auto categorize, auto post, and everything else. And I know both Xero and QuickBooks, they want to get to that position, but I think legacy data and legacy systems and legacy code and all that probably holding them back to launch it day and date, right? Like, it's something that over time I can imagine that's going to be a feature that will be there. But I also know that they've got to manage our expectations, right? There's going to be a lot of people out there who are petrified with this. And it's interesting in the Xero world that they've kind of given this little feature at the top, this turn off, turn on, you know what I mean? Like turn on, turn off, and everything else. Whereas I know that the Kick and the Digit side of things, what they've done really cleverly is they've gone, well, as a firm, how do you deal with these transactions? Because I think that's the key to all of this. And I was having this conversation with them when I was over in the States, right? Like, the firm approach to how we deal with transactions is actually, in my opinion, the most important algorithm that they need to build on, right? Because each firm will probably do it in different ways, but each firm is probably going to work on a particular niche, right? And they know that
we had literally had this discussion today around standardization of not every client, but of the ones where we might be doing the bookkeeping. Then you've got there's your standard process. This is where it gets coded to. This is that's the end goal.
Because then you can do error controls. You can do, I remember when I was in corporate world and much bigger firm, we were looked at stats, and we did, and you had all those opportunities to bring in, but you can't do that if you've got, like you said there, non-standardized data, right? And I'm just really interested in how both Xero and QuickBooks are going to tackle that, because I almost want, and imagine that's a value added, isn't it? When you go to a client and say, look, yes, QuickBooks or Xero, whatever solution you're using, will automatically add your transactions for you. But if you attach to us, we can teach your QuickBooks how to do it the way that we want it done. And that's almost a value add, isn't it? Like, we're giving it, we're supercharging your QuickBooks or your Xero license with our knowledge, and we can look after it, and and that keeps us relevant in a world where, let's be honest, this auto reconciliation isn't far away. Like, we're going to be like wanting to still be relevant, right? And I hope we get to a point where firm, what's the phrase? Firm standardization, like whatever that is.
Whoever you connect your firm, your license to, can drive how it shapes. I think we've had that conversation. Accounting councils is like, It's great. Like all these AI tools are great, right? But who has control and who can do stuff with those things? And where is it getting those answers? Who's teaching it? Where is it getting those answers from? Yeah, we've talked about AI tools in the past, and we won't have a rant about some of them. But yeah, you're right. Like control who can see things and who can use it and what's getting that. And like I said, if it's driven from your accountant, who is your trusted person, then they should be able to say these are the things that we want to trickle down to that agent.
100%. Yeah, completely agree.
I agree with me.
I've noticed for some reason our Instagram feed has died. So sorry, Instagram. Anyway, the next bit I want to talk about is just public service announcement, the retirement of the Facebook group. So I don't know if you've ever used it before, but the Facebook group used to be a great little insight into things going wrong. It was, let's be honest, it was more moaning than anything else, but that's because we're British and that's what we like to do. Yeah, there's no point going on there and saying how wonderful it is. You've got to go on there and say what the problem is. But I fully understand why they've retired it. It's more because they can be far more efficient with a platform like what they're trying to push people to the forums and to the community groups and all that sort of stuff, because they can have far better systems and processes in there to actually get things fixed for them and help people kind of sort their problems out. They can have algorithms, standard answers, all that sort of stuff, right? So completely get it, right? To provide support, there's very few platforms that can make a Facebook group actually a worthwhile place, right? I can count on my hand ones that have done it well, right? But it is a shame that's gone there, because I think that was for me as a content creator on QuickBooks, it was one of my favorite places to go. I got so many ideas out of it, right? This person moaning, that person moaning, this person moaning, and I could go through it.
Now you've got a true community to find your content.
Yeah, it's not quite the same, is it? Because so people are actually being really nice on there, saying how good the thing is. That won't get me any views.
That's not controversial at all.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just public service announcement, retirement of the Facebook group. Very sad to see that, no one got option to take that group on. May or may not have been people in this room having conversations about that, but unfortunately, they decided to retire the group completely without passing it on to other people, which is a shame. Okay, talking of controversial, and a chance for us to chat about changes that are afoot. The US have announced their Intuit Accounting Suite prices. Unfortunately, I forgot to actually get this bit up and ready. So Intuit Accounting Suite at the moment, if you ever go to your QuickBooks Online accountant area, top right hand corner, you have the option now to join the beta and become part of Intuit Accounting Suite, which means that your whole QuickBooks Online accountant area, so the place where you see your clients, completely changes, and we get this whole new experience that I'm absolutely loving, by the way. Really happy I made the move to it. The new practice we just bought is not quite there, not made that jump yet. And it's actually, when I go into there, it's quite jarring. And actually, I'm loving what the thing's done. I think the easiest thing to do is to go to our thing, because I put it there, didn't I?
Oh, the pricing? Yeah.
Yeah, the pricing.
$149 a month.
$149 a month.
Before we start.
Yeah.
It's not $149 a month. Let's just put it.
Yeah, for the UK, that's not going to happen, right?
I think that's the point. In the UK, it's not going to happen, is it?
Not at that price. There'll definitely be a price to it. But we won't. Well, let's hope this doesn't age like a sour milk, right? But we don't. Our assumption is it won't be anywhere near. Well, it won't be that price. And then Books Close, which is an add-on, at $8 per client. Now,
per month?
Intuit
Question mark.
Per month, yeah.
Which is a lot.
$8 per month per client. Now, Intuit Accounting Suite, the promise of it, like the premise of it, I can see lots and lots of value there. I can definitely see that, maybe not that higher price, but I can see a price worthwhile paying for it. 100%. There's so much that we can see there. Is it there now? Not yet. There's definitely not enough giving me kind of, bits that are working that I can bring in and then everything else. The end goal, 100%. The books close though, they've got to really think about their competitors on that. They've got to do a competitive analysis, haven't they? Because there are other solutions that can provide just as much detail, data, and everything else, and are not $8 per month. That's where it's going to be really interesting when it finally launches in the UK, or we get announced what the price point is going to be in the UK. I can't say what I'm willing to pay because I don't know yet. And
even if
we're
we
still
did
beta.
like £6 a month, isn't it? Give or take a little bit at the moment.
If you take into a thing, yeah. Whereas, a prominent solution that is very similar to Books Close but gives you even more, Xenon, is around about £2 per client, roughly.
Which still,
now,
yeah.
I mean, you still have to attach it to QuickBooks, and you've got to rely on the APIs. And how long is it going to be £2 a month for when the new pricing comes properly into play? Because that whole API
going on, yep.
But that's what you've got to be around that competitive price point, haven't you? Of there,
£2 a month's better than if you said you had 500 clients, that's 12 grand a year, right? At £6 a client, that's suddenly a person.
Yeah.
Sit there and literally do it every month.
Yeah, exactly.
You just do that, wouldn't you?
At that price point, yeah. And I don't know. I can't gauge what the American reaction to with that prices were. I've not been able to kind of normally what podcast is it? The Accounting Cloud one would have an opinion, but for some reason they're just not bothered. They're not giving any opinion on it. Jason Stats hasn't mentioned what his opinion of it is yet, right? So we don't know. I don't know what I don't know if they're just going to happily accept it or anything else. Yeah, they've got to be really careful, because that could kill this product dead in its water if they don't get the pricing right, which kind of happened to the practice management solution. If you think about it, they didn't get the pricing right, no one adopted it. It's not really. and the future.
We've had a conversation, but what do you get if you don't pay? What's that look like if you're not going to pay for the $150?
You just don't get the fancy features, do you? You don't get the client insights. You don't get. I think it might even just be client insights, maybe, for that one. I think
might
that's
be what we've already got.
Yeah. But the concept of client insight, the concept of Books Close,
all those bits. It's the insights bit's the bit that I think more people will get. That's where you can find stuff. It's basically like depth precision, or it's that, isn't it? Or like Xenon or what have you. So source that data, so you don't have to drill into it to find out. This person's over their transaction limits and all that jazz.
Yeah. That threshold, they've just passed it. Overdrawn direct loan account. Let's be proactive with it, and that's the future we want, isn't it? Where we're being told about.
Both Xenon and Dex were about £2-3 a client, weren't they? So but you've got to be I think that's the one thing. You've got to be the teams that you have to be using it to get this money's worth.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to build your processes and procedures around that tool, right? For it to make sense of that price.
And even better, I think that's the bit where if you have got QuickBooks Practice Manager, if it's fed into that, then I'm not saying it doesn't, I don't think. But that's like the dream, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can see IS becoming Intuitive Accounting Suite can become I still don't see it as a full-blown practice management. I just yeah, but I can see it as a brilliant task management tool. I can see that future. I can see it as right. I've got to go do a load of bookkeeping, and I'm going to let Intuit Accounting Suite tell me what client's next because of the insights and because because they've got this many transactions to clear. Like that's the future I see Intuit Accounting Suite.
It's my review point. Oh, there's six things posted here and all that sort of stuff. That's what I hope it will be doing.
That's the future of it, right? And I've seen concepts where you can post multiple items and it can find things through AI and all that sort of stuff, right? That I can see massive time saving. I can see where that can start to bring in a price point to it. Like I never expected this to be free. I knew there was going to be a cost to it, and I can see value there, and I can see that being something, if priced right, people are going to jump on it and get value out of it. And then the future they've shown me is like capacity planning and things like that they want to do with it, and bring that sort of thing. And 100%, especially as you grow your practice, like they're the things that keep you up at night, right? And if we can have a tool to help us kind of sort those sort of problems, well excited about it.
If you're, as we'll caveat, if you were a QuickBooks only practice, it'll be perfect.
100%. And even if it's
even if we just add ad hoc, we're not on QuickBooks clients, because like I said, our most practices probably have one or two, probably more on different solutions as well. But that's you bringing all that. It's a conversation that I have all the time. Like trying to get everything in one place is a bit of a nightmare. Still, without
no one seems to have done it right.
Without spending loads of money, like thousands of tens of thousands. It's nothing that anyone's really got right.
No, 100%. So, and the problem is if they don't get mass adoption, the product's just never going to get that love it needs, right? It will never come to. We've seen it time and time again. History will just repeat itself, won't it, of what's happened and where it's gone.
Insignificance.
And when you don't have Nick Williams running the show anymore.
Exactly.
It's even again from that. Right. Well, that's it. What's your thoughts on Intuit Accounting Suite? Let us know in the comments below. Give us some feedback, all that sort of stuff. We'd love to hear from you. Simon, what have you got planned for the rest of the month? Anything exciting we should know? Where can people find you?
Find me on LinkedIn.
Anything you want to plug? It's all yours.
You can find me on LinkedIn. I occasionally post something. There's a nice article around AI and all that sort of stuff we've done recently.
Nice.
And otherwise, I'll be at QuickBooks Get Connected, which I've now found what the venue is called. It's no, I haven't. I found it and then lost it. Woolwich Works is what it's called.
Woolwich Works. That means a bell.
Yes. So I'll be there. We'll be what do they call it? Pounding the floors, whatever you want to call it. Walking around.
Yeah. Mooching.
So,
there's no tips and tricks bar this time, so
we literally will be wandering around.
Yeah, we're literally. Hopefully we get to do the QuickBooks Labs on the stage like we did that year, because it was that year we did it, if you remember. So fingers crossed we did it. If not, we'll find somewhere. There'll be somewhere that we'll
find a boat. We'll go for a boat tour down the Thames and do
it. Yeah, I quite like that idea, to be fair. I like that. As long as I don't miss my talking slot, because I can just imagine being on there and get the timing wrong and not there. But yeah, I'll be talking at the event as well, so come and see my session if you want to come and have a look. I'm doing why or how you can use the QuickBooks ecosystem to supercharge your practice. So all the tips and tricks that you've got from there. I'm looking forward to it. It should be good, and it'll be good to see. It's always a good way to start the year, right? A nice QuickBooks event.
There's a bit more space between the events, like we talked about on the other pod. Like the events this year, there's a lot more space between them, which is nice.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, or you say that a week after, then it's fab. But after that, there's a big gap.
Yeah, that's it. But I mean, like, events, there's a nice big gap between them, rather than all being within 3 weeks of each other and all saying the same news. There might be different news at each one this time.
100%. 100%. All right,
we should ask. What would you like? I should probably say before we get. I'm not going to sign off yet. We haven't asked. What do you want them to announce?
Oh, you're doing a little prediction. You threw that out there, didn't you? Oh, I like that, Mr. Simon. I like that. Oh, it's always difficult, isn't it, with predictions, because there's that world where we get privileged information that we can't talk about. But if I could ask for anything in the world, Mine would be there's this big talk about how work papers has had a bit of a glow up in Canada. And it's very quiet as to what that glow up is and everything else. And I've tried to even sign up and become involved. I'm complete blindsided. All I know is work papers has had a glow up. If I could ask for anything, it will be to see what that glow up is and see how that goes working forward from there. And I think my other ask would be, let's hope they can deliver on that CIS promise that they
As
did
I
this
need
time.
not hear, we need to blow her trumpet for that.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Simon? What do you think? What's your predictions?
I think they're going to do more around IAS. I think that's going to be their big UK. As I said, it's in beta at the moment. You can request to go on it. I think there's going to be that's going to be their big launch. And I think it might stay in beta for quite a while we iron stuff out. A bit like with Intuit Assist, it was in beta for a long time, or as announced, and then it didn't come out for a couple of years, did it really? I think there's going to be a lot of around that. And I'm hoping, as we keep seeing buttons randomly appear that do nothing, stuff on those that, we've talked about the fixed asset bit. We talked about there's the new stock button that seems to have appeared, then disappears, and then it comes back. And you're like, well, what's going on there? Is that commerce thing that we've always been talking about, that they've said they're working stuff to try and get it into the UK? That would be nice to finally, that would be my dream. We have commerce, which I know we've set enough councils with all those connections now as well. I think they'll be my nice things, but who knows?
We know what will be told, and this isn't us like being told in advance, but we know the Intuit AIs will be talked about in great detail, right?
Definitely.
Like, because it's the first time it's been public knowledge. Is that right? This time last year it wasn't a thing, right? As in outside of NDAs and stuff, I'm pretty sure that no one knew what it was. So they are going to hammer the Intuit agents and what they do and how they work and and all that sort of stuff.
It'll be the new, like there'll be lots of that AI agents, a new platform that's out, but you're not forced to have it yet. It'll be all around. People won't have seen it still, I don't think. As in, it's mainly going to be accountants there, right? They might have just switched off and never really bothered looking at it. So it's going to be lots around that. But some new features would be nice as well. Hopefully from our big list that we've seen.
Okay, here's my big, I want you to put a name to it. Who's actually going to announce all this without Nick Williams being there?
Well, I can tell you because his name's on the thing.
What? Talk about a spoiler. Go on then, who is it?
Adolfo Fernandez is doing the product update and roadmap. So there you go. He is VP of Product International. So
okay,
there we go. Right. There's not even a spoiler. No, there you go. It's in writing.
There goes our prediction show. It would have been nice for Emma, wouldn't it, Kirsty? It would have been nice. And Joseph says, saw it late. I'll wait for the next live. Yeah, thank you very much. We'll see you then. Yeah. Oh,
there's one other bit of news as well, but I don't know if it's filtered down. If it's see, look, I've waited to the end to go. Obviously, do you use? I'll ask you this question: if someone's migrating to QuickBooks, who do you use to do your migrations? Did you see
still
this?
Use Move My Books? Why would you use
this news? So, did you ever use Data Switcher in the past?
Oh yeah. Did
you see the news? Was it last week or the week before? Data Switcher have bought Move My Books.
I did not see that. That's great news. Wow.
It's great news because the Data Switcher migrations were much better than the Move My Books migrations.
Yeah.
The Data Switcher, that was announced last week or the week before, that they'd bought Move My Books. Where was my thing? It was last Thursday that it was announced. So they were still doing the, I want to say, Canada migrations for QBO, I think, maybe. And obviously then QBO UK used them for a bit and then went back to Move My Books. But now, Data Switcher and Move My Books are one.
Nice.
I don't know how long that's going to go through the process of being integrated and all those sort of things. But I think that's a good thing. That is.
The
data migrations.
Nice. Brilliant. Absolutely love that. That's definitely a positive news to end on, isn't it? And there we have it. There has been an exciting episode of QuickBooks Labs. We'll see you same time, same place. Well, it won't be same time or same place because we'll be in QuickBooks Connect.
Hopefully,
all
without
being
missing
well.
so this goes smoothly rather than our random faces at the beginning.
Yeah, fingers crossed. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the bits, and make sure you put any comments you got below. But we'll see you this time next month. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Maybe do we get an outro? Let's find out.